I said yesterday the Dallas Cowboys traded a first-round pick to get Amari Cooper. And I said, I would have preferred a third-round pick or a second-round pick. But don't freak out over a first-round pick. I'll give you a stat that I don't know how many people know this, but when Seattle had that 3 to 4 year dynasty thing going, when Seattle was loaded from 2013 to 2016, and they had the best roster in the NFL. Do you know in 2013, the Seahawks didn't have a first-round pick? And in 2014, they didn't have a first-round pick. And in 2015, they didn't have a first-round pick, and they had the best roster. You can live without first-round picks. I should tell you last year, the L.A. Rams did not have a first-round pick. And the L.A. Rams didn't have a second-round pick last year. And the New England Patriots drafted 9 players this year. 6 haven't played, and 1's hurt. And by the way, New England in 2016 and 2017, Joy, didn't have a first-round pick. Okay, Philadelphia, by the way, didn't have a first-round pick. Kansas City this year did not have a first-round pick. Rams, again, didn't have a first or a second-round pick. Okay, draft picks are important, but 30% of the guys in the first round can't play or get hurt or underachieve. Know that. Amari Cooper can play. So let's just do worst-case scenario here. Worst-case scenario, he breaks his leg tomorrow. But let's go reasonable worst-case scenario. He comes in, you're stuck with him this year and next year with a contract, right? Because the Raiders extended it. So you're going to pay him about $13 million this year, maybe a little bit more next year. Okay, so he averages $14.5 million for the next 2 years, and he gives you 30 catches a year and 2 touchdowns. And so in 2 years, you get 60, 70 catches and a few touchdowns, a couple. Okay, well, it's 2018. Couldn't the Dallas Cowboys use that from a wide receiver? Are you going to tell me worst case scenario, he gives you in 2 years, let's just worst case it, 60 catches. That's 2 catches a game. He's going to get more than that because they're going to try to get the ball to him. But he gets 2 catches a game. And he has a 60 catch. And by the way, he only gets in the end zone 3 times, which is he's going to get in the end zone more than that. Okay, so they could still use that production. And by the way, then after next year, you let him walk, and it frees up money. And by the way, you gave up 1 pick, which, by the way, the pick you were going to use for a wide receiver anyway. Have you looked at the last 4 years' first-round wide receiver picks? I mean, they're almost all busts. So let's say it's worse. In business, when you invest in something, when I bet a football game, worst case scenario, I lose my money. I don't bet a football game if I need that $75. So when you bet, anytime you bet on sports, just say, I'm going to lose. And if the worst case scenario is I can't pay my cable bill, then don't bet. Okay, just always think about worst case scenario. If you buy a business, if you give up a draft pick, if you acquire somebody, your law firm, worst case scenario. Can you handle worst case scenario? Because, best case scenario is easy. Oh, Amari Cooper gets 70 catches a year. That's easy. But let's say it doesn't work and you pay him $14 million a year and on average next 2 years, and you get 30 catches and 1 touchdown. All right, well, you could still use that production. I mean, Dallas needs more than anything a wide receiver. They got their linebackers. They got their defensive line. They got their offensive line. They got their star running back, and they have for the next year and a half their quarterback. And so they got that, but they could use a safety. They could use a safety. But it is an NFL offensive league now, right? What they really need is a wide receiver. Worst case scenario, he's not worth a first-round pick. All right, and you let him walk and you free up money. He did give you some production. I mean, unless he breaks a leg, the worst case scenario, he's just not worth the pick. And then you lost a pick, which you would have used on a wide receiver. In the last 4 drafts, wide receivers taken in the first round is a list of who's who. I mean, I don't know, half these guys are even in the league still. So I think, and just remember, really good teams in this league give up first-round picks all the time. Seattle in their dynasty didn't have a first-round pick for 3 years. In fact, one of those first-round picks they gave up for Percy Harvin, who virtually never played. And they still were a dynasty. That didn't unravel their dynasty. What unraveled their dynasty was Richard Sherman got hurt. They went a little political. They started yapping in the locker room. The offensive line kind of deteriorated. It wasn't about the first-round picks. By the way, Pete Carroll whiffed on a couple of first-round picks. He was always good with fourth, fifth, and sixth-round guys. He was good with third-round guys, Russell Wilson. Pete Carroll's never been like nailing first-round pick guy. Even his running back pick this year, first round, everybody's like, he kind of overdrafted that guy. This is amazing. So the New York Giants have just traded defensive tackle Damon Harrison to the Detroit Lions. He's a very good player. Snacks Harrison. The Giants are essentially, they're giving up on the season. They gave up Eli Manning to the Saints for a couple of picks. Snacks Harrison goes to Detroit, giving up on the season. And they should at this point. They can't win, get draft picks, and get some players, right? And by the way, Pro Football Focus says the Lions have added the NFL's leader in defensive stops on the defensive interior in each of the past 3 seasons. Not Aaron Donald, this guy. So he's good. And we have a lot of trades happening now in the NFL. We still got a week to go and a lot of trades. So yesterday, Peter King was on the show, and we asked him, why suddenly now do we have all these trades going on in the NFL? Teams are more aggressive.
The young general managers and young coaches don't necessarily buy that you have to do it the way you used to do it. So the younger GMs and the younger people making the decisions are not necessarily married to their ancestors in the league. Plus, it always helps if you can make a trade up through week 8 in the NFL instead of through week 6.
So I like the move. It's aggressive. He's a good player. The Lions are like, hey, but I just want to point this out. Now, think about this for a second. So Chicago got Khalil Mack, aggressive. And Minnesota went and paid Kirk Cousins. They won 13 games with Case Keenum. They went super aggressive and got Kirk Cousins. And Detroit here is being really aggressive. Who's not in the division? Green Bay. I want to give you Green Bay's schedule for the next 5 games. At the Rams, at the Patriots. Dolphins at home, not an easy one. At Seattle, at Minnesota. 1-4. The Bears got aggressive. The Lions just got aggressive. Minnesota was aggressive. We know that aggressive in sports is being rewarded. The Warriors had a title. Aggressively recruited KD. Rockets were good. Aggressively recruited Chris Paul. Red Sox, aggressively J.D. Martinez. Dodgers, aggressively Manny Machado. Just to rent, basically. Aggressive is winning in sports. Houston, Justin Verlander, aggressive. Okay. Green Bay Packers, once again, they could certainly use Snacks Harrison. Nah. Could have used Khalil Mack. Nah. Listen to this. This is incredible. So we all admit now that Aaron Rodgers is, right, great. Like probably the most talented quarterback. I think Brady's the best, easily, but he's the most talented. They are a 9.5-point underdog now to the LA Rams with Aaron Rodgers. Now, I want you to think about that. What is Vegas telling you about Green Bay? They don't have any players. Has Tom Brady ever been a 5-point underdog? I couldn't tell you the last time Tom Brady was a 4-point underdog, a feel underdog. Has Drew Brees, in the year the Saints were 7-9, 7-9, 7-9 with a bad defense, was Drew Brees ever a touchdown underdog? I mean, when Vegas is telling you, it's not like weather is going to be a factor. Sometimes, a warm weather team going into a blizzard, Vegas is like, no shot. This is a cold weather team with a California quarterback going out west. It's going to be 80 degrees, and they're giving him, Aaron Rodgers, 9.5 points. Baker Mayfield's going to Pittsburgh. He gets 8. So Baker Mayfield, a puppy, a baby, a kid against the all-time Steelers, who are first or second in the league in sacks. Vegas is like, give Baker 8 points. They're giving Aaron 9.5. That is, I couldn't tell you the last time a Hall of Fame quarterback got 9.5. In 2018, maybe in 1980. But, think about this. Sam Darnold's a rookie. Nobody would dispute what I'm about to say. Offensive line, running backs, tight end, wide receivers, Jets are weak. Jets are bottom third in the league in all of those. They have a rookie quarterback. By the way, they're so beat up at wide receiver. They're bringing guys off the street right now. They just made a trade with Tennessee. They don't have any receivers. They're going to face the Bears in cold Chicago, and Sam Darnold's only a 7-point underdog. Vegas is like, give him a touchdown. Aaron gets 9.5. Well, I mean, if they're not telling you that Green Bay doesn't have any players, I don't know what else they have to say. I mean, that is, seriously, 9.5 is what the Buffalo Bills get on the road. And we're in an offensive era where quarterbacks have never been more valuable. So you've got the best one, arguably, and Vegas is like, yeah, this is like the Bills on the road with a rookie quarterback. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.